Let's do this. Turn around. Where are you going? Grab a seat, buddy.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Read Across America. It's been doing really well today. Everybody's seated. I'm so happy. Our theme this year is Read to be informed, prepared, care to make a difference. And, our topic today is, or right now, is fail faster with growth mindset. Anything, fail faster. Fail first attempt at learning. This is really, really important in order for us to succeed at what we want to do. So, our speaker today is someone who has played a lot of football. He knows about teamwork. He is a life coach. He is an equity officer in Anne Arundel County. Everybody knows our next speaker, probably, because he hangs out here every Tuesday. If you ever want to speak with him, come and comment CHS Hour and the Media Center. Please help me welcome Aziz.
Hey everyone, I was just talking to Athena. Athena, stand up, please. So I just found out that Athena is on the cheer team. They just won the state, so let's just give them a round of applause. Thanks, Athena. So as Mr. Vedek said, I have this super long name, and I don't know if it even matters. I kind of go by Jones every once in a while, but it's Abdur Raouf. I graduated from Northeast High School. Please don't hold that against me. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I don't like them either. But you know what? I found this quote, and I thought it would be really appropriate for Read Across America. And if you read it, and you really think about it, because we live in a country now that is polarizing, essentially. You got those people over there, and those people over there, and then you got Ming in the back, and I don't know what he represents. But our former speaker who just spoke, he's from China. Mr. Nye, he just said something really interesting. He was talking about the brain, he was talking about being creative. And he talked about the fact that human beings will be replaced by, anybody want to say what they're going to be replaced by? Robots, computers. Now, machines, does anybody agree with him? You agree?
Yes.
Now, he also said something else that was really interesting. He mentioned that we will no longer be driving ourselves. There will be cars that will be driving you. There will be, what do they call, self-propelled vehicles? So in Dubai, they actually have, you guys ever see the Jetsons? Probably all the older people in the room remember the Jetsons, but at any point, in Dubai, they literally in 2020 will have these vehicles, drones, serving as taxis, taking people from point A to point B. So, with that being said, what Daniel said, we're talking about mindset, we're talking about failing faster. So what's really been interesting to me in the work that I do with a lot of students, what I wonder about is why you all are so complacent at times. Now, I know we have a lot of athletes in the room. Any athletes? Show of hands, please. Okay. Anybody in the band? Choir? Thespians? Robotics club? Any club people? Okay, cool. So, that's me being a little crazy. Always do one thing that scares you a little. That's like my motto. Sometimes I like being really silly. But one of the things that I'm sort of known for is just having played football at Northeast. I ran track. I couldn't pass up the opportunity in my junior year to play a white police officer. Exactly. What did he just say? So my junior year of high school, instead of running track, I decided to play Officer Krupke and West Side Story. So that actual experience was probably, it was actually kind of crazy in some respects because I didn't realize that me not running track could impact getting a scholarship per se. But back then, because I'm a super old man, I didn't realize that coaches were recruiting, track athletes and so on and so forth. So despite the fact that I played a white police officer, I was still recruited. to play football at the University of Maryland. Now, some of you are probably thinking, wow, Northeast in football, not exactly so good, right? Who said yeah? You said, not exactly so good. And what's really interesting is back when I played, we went on a run where we were pretty successful, but a lot of it had to do with our mindset and our coaches. They didn't stand for mediocrity. So that's me. That's not a big deal. But like this quote here, the guy from the robotics club, can you do me a favor? Can you stand up and read that out loud?
Battles that count aren't the good ones, the gold medals. Struggles with it yourself. The invisible, inevitable battles inside all of us. That's what it is.
So I'm going to pick on Kevin for a smidgen here. Kevin Vasquez. You ready for this? What does that mean to you, Kevin?
We shouldn't try and obtain material things. Instead, we should try and go for what makes us.
Okay. I need somebody on this side of the room to add to that. How about the person with the white hat on? No? We're going to pass on the person with the white hat. You want to do it? So this is actually, so now here's the other thing. I'm going to come back to you. I like calling on people because this is a part of this mindset piece that we're talking about. Remember, I went to Northeast High School and was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. Not supposed to happen. But the reason why it happened is because I had a little bit of confidence. But I'm going to talk about that in a second. So, go ahead. What does it mean to you? Thank you. So essentially, what she just said is fight for something that you care about. And that's what essentially today is all about. So for me, and I think all of the authors, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but the underlying theme essentially has been, we want you to become the best versions of yourselves. So if I were to ask you your strengths and you weren't able to name them, that's not exactly good. That means you don't know yourself that well. But if I ask you your weaknesses and you can name a whole host of things, I don't really care about your weaknesses. I don't really want you to do your weaknesses. I want you to do your strengths. Because if you do your strengths, that means you're going to be doing something that you love and that you like, and you'll put forth passion and effort. So simply, failure to me means an opportunity to do something over and over and over again. So here I am pictured. So this picture I think is from like 1985. So the University of Maryland, the jerseys, those are the really old jerseys now because they're represented by Under Armour. I'm pictured here with another guy who actually went to Annapolis High School. He was a running back at Annapolis High School. I think he was either a year or 2 years older than me. He ended up transferring from the University of Oklahoma where he received his first scholarship. He transferred to Maryland and he switched positions and became a safety. So me, when I left Northeast, I was a quarterback at Northeast High School. When I went to Maryland, they recruited me to be a wide receiver. So that means I had to switch positions. So I had to learn something completely new. And the reason why I had to switch positions is because they had these quarterbacks who were about 4 or 5 inches taller than me, and they were very good. And I didn't play, if they had the systems they do now, I probably could have played quarterback. But back then, that wasn't the case. And I wanted to be playing football. So quick story. When I get there, we run our 40-yard time. We did 40-yard dash with a bench press and do some other tests that they run you through. So imagine a 40-yard dash. Do we have anybody who runs track in here? All right, who's the 100-meter sprinter person in here? 100 meter? What's your time? PR, 10. Ooh, that's really fast. That's really good. Wow. So my 40-yard dash time, when I first ran it, came in like 4.6, 4.7. So what would you, 4.6, 4.7, is that kind of slow, in your opinion? All right, it's kind of slow to me. Not slow to her, but slow to me. So I get down in the track position, I run it again, and all of the coaches are looking at their watches, and they're like, what time did you get? What time did you get? What time did you get? Everybody had me under 4.4. And at that time, that meant that I was the fastest guy on the team, which is pretty cool. Now here's the problem with it. I understood I had some athletic talent. The problem was my athletic confidence didn't match up. So we had the guy by the name of Boomer Esiason who was a quarterback. He wanted to throw passes to me because I'm the fastest guy on the team, which means I could run by anybody whenever I wanted to. But I just didn't have the confidence. So when I look out at you all, and I was joking around with some people earlier when you guys first got in, and just asking them to do something or stand up, or I'm not making fun of you, the person in a white hat, but when you don't take a stand for something, or when you don't have confidence, it's not really hurting anyone else other than yourself. So for me, the way I overcame not having confidence was talking to someone like number 2, Donald Brown, who had a ton of confidence. Some people might say he had some confidence to lend out. And that guy by the name of Boomer Esiason, he definitely had enough confidence for like everybody in this room, plus some. But what you'll find is that even your coaches, if they believe in you, your teachers, all of us who believe in you, it can't come from us, it has to come from within. So that's the challenge. Now the cool thing about playing sports is you practice day in, day out in the season. And hopefully, for me during that time, I just kept getting a little better, a little better, a little better. Started remembering the routes, understanding the routes, catching the ball cleanly, so on and so forth. So ultimately for me, I became, like the first pass I ever caught when I played the following year was a 67-yard touchdown pass from this guy by the name of Frank Wright. And unfortunately, we were playing Syracuse. We're up 7-zip, so it would have been 14-zip if that touchdown had counted, but unfortunately one of our offensive linemen had illegal use of hands, so it was called back. So we ended up losing that game. And we probably, just that one mistake, probably cost us going to a major bowl. So here I have this game. We're playing Miami. We're playing in Miami. We're playing against a team, I think at the time they were ranked in the top 5, and we basically were getting smacked. It was 31-zip at halftime. 31-0 at halftime. We go into the locker room. Coach isn't exactly pleased with us. The coach at the time was Bobby Ross. He has some choice words for us, but really didn't say a whole lot, other than the fact that when we get back to campus, we're going to put the equipment back on and we're going out to practice. Not something we were looking forward to, but to be honest with you, by the time we got in the locker room, and even before he started talking to us, we just looked at ourselves and we thought about what we didn't do. We thought about our own roles, our own assignments, and what we didn't do. And I don't really think his punishment, so to speak, was the incentive for us to go out and play better, but it was us having pride in wearing the uniform and not letting our teammates down, but more importantly, not letting ourselves down. So consequently, I'll just show you a quick play here really quick. So that guy number 70, he went on to play in the NFL. He blocked for Barry Sanders. He played about 14, 15 years for the Lions and the Seahawks. But the team we're playing against, I mean, they had like 6 or 7 first rounders. What's really cool and what's really interesting about this is the quarterback at the time, he did it again. He went to Buffalo, and he was the backup behind Jim Kelly. And behind Jim Kelly, he led another comeback against Houston in a playoff game, and they were able to win that game. So consequently, we won that game. We ended up winning that game 42-40. You don't win games like that by not believing in yourselves and not counting on your teammates. So one of the other things, because of a lot of the work that I do and some of the conversation that took place earlier today, people were talking about bullying. I mean, back in my day, we handled it a little differently. You know, we basically, well, I won't tell you how we handled it, but it got handled. Nowadays, because of social media, and I love social media, I love Twitter, but what I don't get is, it's about adding value to one another, and all of you who play sports know that. And typically, and I'm not saying that other individuals in the building aren't leaders in this building, but typically in my day, the individuals who play sports, there was a different expectation. So what saddens me a little is that you all aren't stepping up and taking on that leadership role, and some of you you're just being bystanders. And I think you all know what that means. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but there's some students in the room here who've been bullied, and it's unnecessary. In the world in which we live,